sweet little girl was singing, the county came in. And so we just got fined again in America. As well, that would be great, so you won't have to stand. I won't be very long, but I want to tell our guests that are perhaps here, and we've really not allowed guests in church for some time, but if you are here, we're thankful for you. But I want you to understand that 48 hours, almost 48 hours ago, probably 45, at the door of the office building, the county came out and put 4 pages of a letter to this church, to this pastor. And it says there, and if you're not aware of this, I want you to be aware of it, so during prayer, if you feel like you need to leave, you can leave. It says, cease and desist. 24 weeks ago in our county, of course, we were shut down, and we obeyed. And they said, if you'll do this for 2 weeks, we think we can get this under control. Well, today is week 24. And now for about the last 9 weeks, we've been in here. Contrary to what the edict says, we've been socially distancing. Every other row is empty today. And families get to sit together. So if you see a group of people, they're family together. And we've tried to do everything possible to make it safe. I've asked our elderly to stay home. I've asked those that are, if you have any temperature, to stay home. Before men's prayer last night, I had mine checked. It was 97 degrees. And I was still hot and warm, so who knows. But I want you to know that it's just been a very unusual ride the last 48 hours. Some things that are said on the internet I had to correct because they're not threatening to arrest today, though that's been talked about. And not you, but the pastor. But let me just say, I've talked to authorities throughout this entire ordeal. I've talked to the sheriff's office. I've talked to the police department. They call on us. I've talked to the mayor's office, and she's probably watching right now, and she knows I've talked to her, reached out to her several times. She's always been gracious. I've talked to the secretary, the secretary to the mayor. I've talked to officials, and we are trying to do everything possible. But I want you to know, as I was speaking to the mayor's office yesterday, and I texted her, and she immediately texted me right back within a minute. And Mayor, if you're watching, I appreciate your spirit toward me, that you receive my calls and you receive my texts and emails, and she responds. And we went back and forth, and after a little while, she got me in touch with her assistant that I've known for a long time, Lisa, and I'm certain Lisa's watching today because we've been under surveillance here. And the edict says that they've been watching us, and people have been reporting us. And that's, you know, if that's what someone wants to do, don't get mad at them. They feel like that's what they need to do, let them do that. But as we talked yesterday, they said, Pastor, you know you're violating the law. You realize that there's consequences. And I said, I know there are consequences. And I don't like the consequences what they gave me that could be. And I've been up much of the night just wondering and praying about consequences. I don't like those things. But I also know this, that they said, you know, you probably will have a Constitution a case here. Well, I know we do. Because you can't have any law against the assembling in God's house. None. But I said to the office, I said, you know, I know we have a constitutional right, but I want you to catch this very carefully. I said, we have a higher power we answer to. And I have a biblical mandate to get to the house of God. Our God gave his life for the church. Jesus died for it, and he said, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together. Now, if they close us down this morning during the middle of the service, I'm just going to go over to the park and start preaching right next door. If you want to show up there, one of the men, we're going to have church. We're going to assemble. We're commanded. This is our faith. I was reading the other night, late into the night,